Joseph, what have you made to the start of the season overall?
Been very good. As a collective, there's been a couple of results here and there that we all know we would have liked to have been better in, but I think as a whole it's been what we want, what we would have hopefully expected, and just pushing for more as well, because we know the standards that we set for ourselves, we know the ambition that's within the group, so we know every single game we almost expect ourselves to perform and hopefully get a result that favours us.
Has that been kind of reflected with the frustration at only coming away with a point from MK Dons despite the circumstances within the game? 100%.
I think if you look at the second half, even once it went down to 10v10, we dominated probably from that moment onwards and created a lot of chances, and some teams would have been over the moon for a point. I think the group we now have expect wins. It's plain and simple. We expect wins. So coming away with a point is better than zero. So we've got to take that positive and move on and go on and get into the next game.
How much did you enjoy playing in that second half? How high up the pitch that you were finding yourselves on most occasions?
It was very fun. You know, joining in with the attacks. That's not something that usually happens through the course of a season, but just being involved almost and just kind of almost carrying out the game plan that the gaffer talked us through at half time, and just going and thankfully getting some reward from it.
What have you made to your own start to the season, where you find yourself at the minute?
Good. Just kind of, when the opportunity arises, taking it as much as I can and just keeping myself ready on the training pitch and just making sure I'm contributing to the team, if it's not on the pitch and it's off the pitch in any shape and form.
There's opportunities potentially against Manchester United under-21s in the Bristol Street Motors Trophy. Opportunities like that, you just got to grasp them when they come and kind of stick your hand up.
100%. I think you just got to play the game. You know, just play the game, play the game plan, try and see that out, try and back up with a good performance, and naturally you'd hope and think that the result follows.
And in terms of that as a competition, you obviously got a taste of action at Arsenal with it. How important is that? There's a lot of talk about the under-21s teams being involved, but as a young player coming through at Arsenal, how important was it for you to get that taste of action at that level?
It was very good, very, very good, especially early on. I'd probably been about 17 or so when I got first appearance in this competition, and it was just nice. It kind of gives you a taste of, okay, well, and the funny thing is you're playing against a first team, but they've rejigged their whole team in itself, so you probably play against 3 players that probably made an appearance on a weekend, and you're still thinking, that's a bit of a difference. So you can only imagine if they had their full strength team out, and I think it's very important, very, very important that younger players are getting this exposure so early on, because it almost prepares them to the men's game, and it takes them away from the 21s competition that they do on a weekly basis, and they actually face different scenarios. You know, it's not really a black and white thing when you come up against a men's side, and especially in how we play, a lot of energy, a lot of forward thinking, very aggressive. So it'll be different from what they've experienced in their league.
Do they take a lot from it at that level? Obviously, we talk a lot about what it's like from this side of things and the senior team level. But what do you take from it as a young player coming through?
I think it's I wouldn't say a reality check per se, but it does open your eyes, because you almost think you're at one of the best academies in the world. You're thinking, yeah, we can just roll up and we roll over teams, and you're then surprised when you play against a men's side and you're like, oh, okay, that wasn't what we expected, because you expect and you think, because of what you play in week out, that you can just pass the ball casually and you're not going to get challenged, and the refs are probably a bit more lenient in the 21s league, I'd think. And when you come up against a men's side and you're getting full-blooded challenges coming in, 50-50s, and you're not coming out on top, then you're a bit like, okay, this isn't what I thought. And for some boys, they can almost be a bit, with all due respect to younger players, they can almost be a bit more hesitant then, because it's not what they're used to. And then you get other boys that are absolutely up for it, and they're like, okay, well, that's what it takes, and they rise up to it and they fancy to give you a bit back as well. So it works both ways.
Potentially be a player involved for Manchester United that's at the opposite end of the spectrum, in somebody you know very well, Tommy Rowe. How pleased are you to see him getting this opportunity that he has got with that as he continues his playing career, but also moves into coaching as well?
Honestly speaking, I think it's happened to the best person. You know, he came through United as a youngster, then he went on and he's had some career, and now he's gone back there to give those young players unbelievable amounts of experience, and just all the years that he spent in the game at very, very good levels as well. You know, and it's good. It's brilliant for him, and he's going to be learning from some of the best coaches in the world. You know, he'll probably be seeing things from the inside for younger players. So he's getting a lot of opportunities to grow, to soak things up, and Robbie, as he is as a person, will naturally do that. That's him. He'll be asking questions. He'll be trying to get the young boys. He'll just be in his element, and honestly, it's probably happened to the best person. Yeah.
How big was he for you while you were working together?
Massive. Got to spend three brilliant years with Rory, and just off the pitch, just in little conversations, just how he is, and then on the pitch, his work ethic, mentality. He was still running around at 34, 35 as if he was a 21-year-old, and it's good to see, you know, the way he carries himself prehab, after the session, looking after himself, just consistently. He's just a fountain of knowledge, and it was brilliant for me, very, very good for me, especially coming in initially as a 21-year-old to then having him as someone that I can just talk to and ask questions and bounce off, and it was very, very good.
Still young yourself, but plenty of experience under your belt. Are you helping the lads coming through, the younger lads, whether that's a Jay McGrath who's taking his real first steps into senior football, or Casper Williams who's, you know, progressing out of the under-18s?
100%. I think you've got to be open to also learn from them as well. At the same time, also try and pass on any bit of information you can to them in any shape or form that's going to help them as much as possible, because you want to push them so they can push you as well. You want the best out of each other. You know, that's how you get better as a player. And as much as I can, always communicate, always talk, always have conversations on the pitch, and it's just about helping as much as possible. You know, helping everyone on the pitch. We're all one big team, one big family, so no one's left aside.
What have you made to how Casper has handled these last few months, you know, from pre-season and being involved in the friendlies to, you know, getting a bit of game time in this competition?
Very, very well. He's taking it in his stride. Doesn't look phased at all. Considering he's still only 16, 17, it's as if he's been around for a couple of years in the first team, and considering he's only come up this year to really spend a bit more time with us, he's just taking it in his stride. You can see the quality he has. You know, he wants to learn. You know, he wants to learn. You can see that he wants to get better, and I'm sure he'll just continue to develop into an even better player.
Yeah, you talked about that and driving that competition. It's so strong across the entire squad at the minute, isn't it?
Yeah, it's relentless, but that's what you want, because of the end goal that we have in mind. We all know it's not something that's plastered around everywhere. It's just a given. We all understand that is what we're going for. So you need that competition. You look at the top teams in the top leagues in the country: Man City, Arsenal, Chelsea, even they're coming in. Tottenham, all of them, they've got good quality players, world-class quality players in every single position. So no one can slack for one moment.
You talked about the goal that everybody knows about as well, but this competition ranks up there as well in terms of what you're wanting to achieve in this.
100%. We don't go into any competition just to take part and just to be participants. We go into every competition to compete and to set our mark, and with every intention to do the best and go as far as we can and push for it. And hopefully this is a competition we can go very, very far in.